Our contest is beginning.
This is Mary's $20 meal for 4 people. Family of 4 for 20 bucks.
And this could even be, you'll see it will stretch to like, could be 6 people because we're gonna put this in the tenderizer.
Okay.
Without
Here, I'll turn it on. I'll turn it on. I'll turn it on.
I got it.
You think you're cool?
Yeah. There we go.
Let me show what that does.
I'm gonna do
Put it
this
through
one more.
So this is our tenderizer from the restaurant. This is what it does. Puts holes in all the chicken. Breaks down all the tendons. It's the one thing I had to have when I left the restaurant. You're not supposed to take anything with you. I took this with me.
Run it through twice. So this is going to be a stuffed.
Hold that up in the air. Let me see if I can see through it.
Not quite. A little bit.
Okay, I'll do it with my chicken. She's challenging me.
I'm not challenging you. I'm trying to help. Anyway, mine is a stuffed chicken recipe. So I'm going to saute the shallots in some oil and seasoning. I'm going to add in the mushrooms and spinach and that quinoa rice and stuff it all in these. I'm also, so I kind of sear it first, stovetop sear, and then finish it off in the oven. Okay.
So by the way, if you ever got your hand in here, this machine will literally take your whole hand all the way down and grind it all off.
Okay,
it's my biggest fear. We took there's a protective guard that goes over this, but we took it away. Of course we did. Make it more dangerous.
Okay.
No, but it's so much more efficient when it's taken away.
So when I did my pricing and my math for my $20,
I said she would never make it under 20. She was buying, the
I
little
used-
details were like $2 here, I go, that's gonna add up.
I had everything on there. So I'm basically gonna say I'm using half of these mushrooms. You can buy the other half for me. That's $2.
Oh, I gotta buy those off?
Yeah.
I will use them, yes.
And then I'm gonna do about half of that spinach because you know when you cook spinach how it shrink-a-dinks down.
Yes.
So I had all my receipts. So everything I added up is going to be $19.08. My step 1 is going to be breaking these mushrooms down. I'm just gonna take the stems out of them. I'm gonna put them in my Cuisinart because to have this stuffing, this is gonna be finely diced and it's just easier to use a Cuisinart instead of hand chopping. And get this going and get the spinach going. Well, I'm just taking the stems out.
So you're gonna grind that, you're gonna emulsify that into like a...
Just like a...
How fine?
Like
Lightly chopped?
Like
or?
a dice, like a small, you know.
Careful, these Cuisinarts can make this all of a sudden a mousse before you know it.
So what I'm gonna do is not over
Pulse.
fill this.
You wanna pulse
I'm
it, right?
also not gonna overfill it. So I'm gonna give this just a few pulses on there. The blade's already in there, which is kind of tricky to get
Sorry,
that
our
in
kitchen's not clean, but...
Hey, there's my mug. Okay.
That's your coffee mug this morning. Ooh.
And that's about it.
Let's
Put
see what
this
that
in a
looks
bowl. I'll do one more. See how much time? I mean, if I were to hand chop that up, that would be taking forever.
Let me see that.
That's good. It's kind of like a fine dice. I don't know if people, I think the stem gets real hard to cook. I've never cooked it with those mushrooms.
Yeah, I've got to do some research on that. I've always popped the, I've started saving it.
And I don't know, I think they're, I don't know.
That might be an old myth that you have to take those out. I think that might be a good product, especially what you're doing, you're emulsifying. Or not emulsifying, but you're chopping.
Chopping. It's like a fine dice.
Yeah, I would.
A chef would say it's like a petite or a fine dice.
There you go.
All right.
That's all you're going to use? So I had to get the rest of these mushrooms?
Mm-hmm. After you give me $2.
Oh God, I got to buy these for 2? I'll take them.
The whole package was
because I got room in my budget.
All right, so I got my mushrooms on, I got my chicken prepped. Now, I'm going to use the same device, my same machine to help me with my shallots, because shallots burn my eyes, like everybody.
Onions.
It's an onion, and if I...
Other than putting goggles on, isn't there a myth? Isn't there a story about
So
cutting
there's
onions?
supposedly a way to cut the onion, a certain way to cut the onion that's supposed to not let those gases affect your eyes.
And the reason there's gases in those onions is the onion is still alive. What people don't realize is after it's picked, the onion is still alive. That's a defense mechanism. I mean, like everything has a defense mechanism for animals eating them and everything else. They say wheat has got a lot of poison in it. That's why people that eat wheat, like if you have pasta al dente, you always get that stomach ache, and you know what happens after that. But that's from the poison in the wheat, they say. And it's a natural poison so that the animals don't eat it, so that the wheat stays alive. Everybody has a defense mechanism. Animals, produce does. I think most produce does. So the defense mechanism for the onion is it puts out that odor, which would be...
What's a banana's
I don't think they have that
mechanism?
because they're up in the air. I don't know. I'd love
Just
to know
trying to
all
go
this.
with your story.
I know.
Trying to make it interesting.
I just know the onion story. I know the onion story is correct. The reason that it throws off that gas and makes your eyes water is it's for defense so that animals don't eat it.
I think you cut the hairy part off first. I think.
Of what?
The onion. You know, there's a hairy part of the onion end, the hairy end,
Oh, yeah.
versus the other one, and that's just something I remember. I should probably practice it more, and maybe I won't tear up so much. So I'm just going to give these a couple rough chops, and we'll see how much our Cuisinart helps. This might be too big of a vessel to make it work. I might have to use something else, but we'll try it.
So Mary splurged and she spent money on the
Shallot.
shallots. I wouldn't do that. I think that's too expensive. $2.29 for that type of viscous,
Okay.
pungent flavor.
But-
I'm using the red onion, poor man's onion.
For what I'm using for my shallot is $1.10. This is the avocado oil.
Correct. So we gave up completely. I've been just reading more and more about seed oils, and we've decided to remove them from the house. Even though they're great, high temp, high burning oils, good for sauteing steaks and everything else, it's just not worth the health that goes into it. Makes your joints, it's just not good for you. Those seed oils are always terrible. I could go into a half-hour dissertation on that, but I'm going to leave it alone.
And if anyone's asking or wondering why I use this product, I've used it before. It already has a little garlic in it. I know it's a packaged product. I do have bags of quinoa that I have used before. There's white quinoa, there's red quinoa, all sorts. But this is kind of for the price and seasoning and everything with the rice mixed in with it. That's why I use this for this recipe.
Now, I'm anti-quinoa because it's supposed to cause leaky gut. It's not good for your gut. That's what they say. I don't know if this is true.
There's fiber in quinoa, there's protein, there's a lot of good things, there's a lot of good vitamins and minerals in quinoa as well. Okay, here are my shallots sizzling over there. Okay, get this ready. Season that up with pepper.
Oh, I love the pepper. Good.
Lots of
Big
pepper.
fan of pepper.
I'm going to use your famous, what's the salt called?
Come on, Mary.
It's new for us.
Baja Gold.
Baja salt.
Yeah,
That's
it's so
just
good.
little sprinkles in there.
Remember, you probably need to be a little more generous than normal on that, just so you know.
Well, I season to taste as I go.
For instance, on that avocado, it looks like I have big chunks of salt in there. It was fantastic, and it was not overly salty. I told you it's a very forgiving salt.
Mushrooms in. Normally add some garlic to this too. I probably have about 25 cents left in the budget.
Wait, we have garlic.
Yes. See how wet this just got from all that moisture coming out of those mushrooms?
Yes, I spent my whole life extracting.
This does say it's flavored with garlic.
Mary, just take a spoonful of garlic.
Okay.
Right there. So I buy garlic, and the peeled garlic and I emulsify it myself. I put it in the fridge, and then we just use it as we go. So you don't have to, see, this thing was full a month ago. I put a little olive oil in there, and that way we always have fresh garlic ready to go. There you go. See, I think that's a game changer. I can't believe you were going to pass on that. Or people that use dry garlic, I don't get it.
Yeah.
It takes nothing to put that in a Cuisinart, blend it up. We actually make a couple of these with one bag of peeled garlic.
So I'm going to add the spinach into this.
I don't want to distract from you, but
We'll see.
back to the garlic. So I put one of these in the freezer, and I put one out to use. So I could make 2 of those out of the peeled garlic that I buy at Sam's Club for $9.99. Back to your spinach.
All right, so
All right, that looks really good.
we'll see how it's
It's going to all flatten and shrink. As we all know, that much spinach will equal about 4 forkfuls when it's all reduced and broken down from the heat.
And again, so it's going to be this and the quinoa and rice. That's going to be our stuffing for our chicken breast.
I think you should be on camera more than the food, but
No, thank you.
I'm a little biased.
All right, there we go. Now it's starting to steam.
How do you want it? Don't you want it? I'm not telling you what to do, but all that
yes,
water
you
being
love-
thrown off by the
You love telling me what
mushrooms.
to do, don't you?
I do like telling you what to do, but you generally don't listen.
Look at that.
Wow. Okay, it's looking good. Now you see all that water in there? I wouldn't cook with that. I would want that reduced ahead of time, but I'm not telling you what to do.
That water came from the mushrooms. I did not add
Correct,
the water.
that's my point I was trying to make.
But it's cooking off. But the spinach needs to cook in some kind of a heat and a little bit of a water.
Liquid. The steam is what breaks that spinach down.
Right.
See how that giant amount of spinach in there is now reduced down to just nothing?
Yeah, and I think that's a good amount. You actually have more
Love spinach.
Yeah, so I think this is actually a good amount.
Ooh, I think you got too much liquid in there, but that's me.
Now, this has to go
I don't
in
like
next.
all the water, all those puddles in there. You want to
Kind of
hit that
break-
with...
I break this up.
I'm not
Is
trying
it-
to tell you what to do.
Yeah, is it my?
No, you can do
dinner or is it
do
your
whatever you
dinner?
want. Do whatever you want. I'd be putting paper towels in there and soaking all that extra water out right now, but that's me.
Because this needs something to cook into. It needs some kind of a liquid. This is very dry. So,
Oh, does that actually require that?
yes.
Okay, so you're ahead of me. Okay, you're right as usual. Stop it.
I may even have to add
I've
in-
never seen you make this, so I don't know. Yeah, now I see it. The water's going. Okay.
All right. Let that go down. So the trickiest part of this whole meal is how do we get these stuffed and stay together? Because what I'm going to do is get another saute pan and put some oil in it because we have to brown all the edges of the chicken without all the stuffing falling out.
Okay.
Make sense? That's true. There are kind of cooking picks. You can soak them in water and stick them in there. I prefer not to use them.
Ah,
And-
look at most of your water's gone. Very good, Mary.
Wow.
I learn something new every day.
Now you can just see how this is all cooked and coming together. All right, I'm gonna turn the heat off on that. You could even add your delicious little tomatoes to this.
You could take that. How many do I have left? Bring those out.
You only have like, not enough to add to the dish, but these, if you can imagine, next time you make them, to throw them in there, add some color. So this is the stuffing mix for the chicken.
All right.
You could do butter or oil. Butter will probably burn, so that's why I'm using
Correct.
the oil. So
Unless it's clarified butter, correct.
a little sprinkle of your
Look at that salt, how different that is. It's chunky. God, I'm in love with that salt.
You really are.
I talk about it too much.
Can't stop talking about it.
I should probably shut up on that.
All right. So I'm gonna use the spoon. All right, we're gonna stuff our chicken now. You kind of just want to get it on one side because you got to be able to roll it kind of like a burrito. Okay, I'm gonna roll these up. Like I said, this is the tricky part about trying to keep that stuffing in here. Okay, roll this one up.
If we won the lottery, I told Mary yesterday, I'd still want to stay in 1,000 square feet, but I'd want to make this whole apartment one big kitchen.
I would love a big
So we can, cooking is such a big part of our life, even just our personal life.
It is.
Pretty cool. So, I'm not telling you what to do, but does this end up in the oven?
Yes.
Okay, baking it.
Yes.
So this
Finish
is
it
just,
in
you're
the
trying to
oven.
sear it to kind of look at the meat to lock around and kind of close up the stuffing part of it.
And it's just browning outside and pre-cooking it and yeah, getting it to kind of seal up.
Looks cool. Looks very good. Kind of like a big giant burrito or...
Yeah. Or like a stuffed chicken breast. Once it gets a nice little sear, brown sear on this one can probably go in the pan. Give a little more time.
I wouldn't roll that until it was, well, it's your, never mind. Not telling you what to do.
All the time. All right.
Listen, I always compliment you. I always say you're just as good.
See how that has that nice little brown sear in that, but it's raw on the inside. So,
Okay, roll, yeah, there you
stay
go.
like that. Heat off.
Okay, because that should firm up with the cooking, with the heat. But,
All right, and then this one's gonna go in here. Get all these little tidbits in there. All right. And that one's
Very cool.
unfolding, but what we can do
Roll it,
is roll it into
not
that.
telling you what to do.
Roll it right there.
Atta girl.
All right.
All right, Mary, what do you got?
Okay. I put it in the oven to bake it. So I cut a little piece earlier. So here's what we're gonna do. Let me get a plate. What's nice about this is, let me show you how it cuts. Could have
It's
used a
almost
little,
like a loaf with a,
could have used a little more browning,
yeah, on the outside. I'm not telling you what to do.
but so you can see how much.
Do you want to plate it up? I'll eat that.
Well, let me show you. I already did a little plate.
Oh, you did? Let's
So
see.
that's that.
Oh my God, you're like Julia Child. You already have one.
Okay, yeah, I have one already plated. Hang on. Okay. So, and
Where's the voila? Oh,
Voila.
that's the finished product.
and then with the leftover spinach that I didn't use, I just kind of sauteed that and put it in the middle.
Hey, nice job for 20 bucks.
This is, I mean,
And you can do that times 4. 1, 2.
James ate 1.5.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so this, I mean, that's one whole. So it's a lot.
Hey, what's going on over here?
Oh, I made some cookies too.
Oh,
that's dessert.
Mary, look at that.
That's dessert.
Oh, you put white chocolate in there?
White and chocolate.
Hey, somebody likes her husband.
All right, that's it.
Okay,
Now you
we're
gotta do
signing
yours.
off. Good job, Mary.
Okay.
I noticed that you didn't salt or pepper it though, at all.
Salt and pepper in the beginning with the shallot, and then midway
I'm
when
talking about the meat, the actual chicken. I mean, it's good. Could use a little
more salt and pepper.
pinch.
I'd rather add salt than you can't take it away once it's on there. The other thing is I made this one other time with crushed red pepper in it to give it a little heat.
You love your crushed red pepper.
I know I
It
do.
can get real hot though.
But you said the chicken was good and real tender, right?
Cooked perfectly, very tender. We can go right up on it.
I know you added your tomatoes,
I added the tomatoes,
which is good.
so it's really.
That might have been over my $20 budget, but
I'm saying yes, this is a winner.
that was 4
was a
breasts
generous
for
four.
$19.08. I have it written down.
And those breasts could almost be for 2, right?
Yeah, I mean, now it's hard for people to get chicken to put through a tenderizer like that. So you have to take one of those hammers at home and you have to pound out the chicken breast to
That's why
flatten
that
it.
machine, the sweetness of these Tomatoes are unbelievable.
Okay, you're supposed to be talking more about my chicken.
I know, your
dish, not-
chicken's unbelievable.
Okay,
Okay, good job, Mayor.
good. All right.